Hello and welcome to Algebra 2 tutorial. Again, we are still looking at quadratic transformations. We've done all of these four different types. And today we're going to make it a little bit more difficult by combining them. And when we do this, the order does matter. It matters if you do a translation first and then a reflection, or a reflection first and then a translation. Those can do different things because of the order of operations. So we're going to do some of the harder ones where that order does make a difference. So multiple transformations is what we're looking at. So we're going to start with maybe the easier one, a translation, and then a reflection. So we're going to do this visually first, and then we're going to do it algebraically, because we want to make sure we understand them in both ways. So we're going to take this function, x minus 2 squared plus 5, and then reflect it over the x-axis. Now, I'm hoping we can make a pretty good sketch of this, so we're just going to do this old-fashioned way here. So here is where my parabola is going to be. Let's see, minus 2 means 2 to the right, 1, 2, and then plus 5 means 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my parabola is here and it's going up. So now I want you to imagine taking that parabola, this one here, and then reflecting it like a mirror over the x-axis. And so it would flip and come all the way down here. And so if I would go down 5 then, 3, 4, 5, it would now be down here and it would be flipped upside down. So most importantly, it did not just flip and go upside down up here. It flipped all the way down here. And so hopefully you can see that that would fold over to the bottom parabola. Well, that means our final answer down here not only is going to need a negative in front to flip the parabola upside down, instead of going up 5, we are now going down 5. So it changed 2 places. And so to see that algebraically, you could probably write the equation of that. We're going to take f of x and we're going to make a new equation. And so because we're going to have a new equation, I'm going to call this one g of x. It's our new one. But it is going to be very similar to f. The only thing we're doing is reflecting it over the x-axis. To do that, we're putting a negative in front. But we're multiplying the whole f of x by negative. So it doesn't just come right here. Watch what happens. The negative is here. I'm going to plug in f of x, but anytime we substitute, it's always a good idea to put it in parentheses. And then I'm going to write f of x. So x minus 2 squared plus 5. And then this negative does distribute to both the parentheses and the positive 5. So g of x, there is a negative in front. That flips the parabola upside down, but it also goes to the 5, so a negative and a positive make a negative, which flips you down 5 here. So that's how it works algebraically and graphically. Hopefully when you visualize it, you can see that that flip brings you down, and so that plus 5 has to turn into a minus 5. That distribution is really the key there. All right, let's try another one. This time we're going to do a translation first, and then a stretch or a shrink. Okay. So take the function h of x is equal to this and translate it left 4 and up 2. The translation is going to be the easy part, but then we are going to stretch it vertically by a factor of 3. So first let's do the easy part here and translate it left 4 and up 2. Now that you can probably do in your head. Going left 4, well, if we're already left 1, we're going to be going left another 4, which would put us at 5. So our new equation we start with h, let's call this one g, is equal to, let's just do the translation in our head, x minus 5 squared. And let's see, we're up 3 right now, and we're going up another 2, so that would be up 5. And then we are going to stretch vertically by a factor of 3. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I'm just going to put a 3 right here. That's where the stretch goes. Sadly, because we already have transformations here, that isn't quite the case. To prove that to you, I want to show it to you visually. So, here is a parabola, and if we move it side to side, I don't think I can quite go over 5 here, but we'll say let's go over 3. That'll at least give us an idea. And if I go up a little bit, so I translated it first. Now if I change this a value and I stretch it vertically, take a look at what happens. So not only does it take points, say, from here, and it stretches them up. It takes a point here and it stretches it up. But it also takes the vertex and it stretches it up. And so the k value is going to change. To kind of show you that in a little bit different way, you can take a look at the equations over here. Here's our original f. And if we put a number out in front, it does have parentheses. So that number is going to distribute to in front of the parentheses. So it will go here, but it is going to distribute as well, to this k value and multiply that k value and stretch the vertex up also. That's the distribution. Just like the negative, it affects two things. So let's do that real quick and see what that looks like algebraically with our numbers here. Let me get rid of some of this first. So we have our side to side and our up and down taken care of. We're now going to do one more transformation here. Stretch vertically by a factor of 3. That means I'm going to change g of x. So let's do another name here. Let's call it h. Oh no, we already have h, my bad. Let's call this one L, just for the fun of it. L of x is equal to, now it's going to be very similar to g, so I'm just going to put the g over here. What change am I doing? I am stretching it vertically by 3. So there it does just go in front, but then when I plug all the numbers back in, it will be 3 times all of g of x. So that is x minus 5 plus 5. So the 3 multiplies all of it. We then distribute it in so that L of x is equal to, the 3 is now in front. I'm guessing you predicted that, but it also multiplies the 5. And so this equation is now all the way up at 15 for the vertex. And that's the key here. It's very tempting just to put this 3 here when you stretch by 3. But if you have a translation already, it does need to distribute to that k value and change the vertex. All right, so distribution is the key here for all of this. I'll give you some practice here. Oops, I don't have a link to it. There we go. There is your practice. Try that out, and hopefully that makes some sense. Good luck.